Hello, I'm Tim Black. Welcome to TTL Media. I'm your host. Earlier this week, I did a story on Justin Harris. You might remember he's the 33-year-old man who left his child in a vehicle while he went to Home Depot to go to work. You might also recall that the child, who wasn't quite two, his name was Cooper, he died. Now, based on the information that I had at the moment, I had to go with that. And based on that information, I thought maybe it's possible Justin Harris was just an idiot. You know, men being forgetful. Men being not the best decision makers at times. It sort of buys into or fits into the mainstream media's play about men. Come on, you know, in the U.S., in the society in the U.S., men are depicted as forgetful guys who, if it wasn't for the fact their heads are attached, they would forget them somewhere. It's sort of a narrative. It's a running joke from everywhere from commercials to sitcoms. So it's easy to discount what Justin Harris did as just being the actions of an idiot man, a dumb man, a simple man. You know, where the wife is always right and the man, he ain't too bright. So yeah, I brought into that. But. In light of some new facts that have become apparent, I had to change my story, and I'm going to change my story now because, hey, I want to be on the right side of this thing. And before I may have thought Justin Harris was a forgetful dad, now I think Justin Harris is a killer. He's a sadistic, murdering piece of shit. And I'm going to prove it to you. One of the new facts that came to my attention was the fact that Justin Harris stopped off that morning before leaving his child in that vehicle for 7 hours. He stopped off to get breakfast with the child in the vehicle. Now, me being of reasonable intelligence, who has had a child or two in my vehicle at some point, it's very rarely that I could stop off, pick up food, eat food, consume it with the child in the back and not know a child is in the back of the vehicle. What about you? That's right. Put your common sense goggles on and look through your air common sense. All right, so that's one thing, right? Got any doubts yet? Doubts that Justin Harris may not have left his child in that car accidentally? All right, here goes another thing that may give you some pause. Justin Harris left his place of business. He left Home Depot, went to his vehicle, put something in the front seat, closed the door and left like there was no one in that car. We know this because on the surveillance footage outside the Home Depot, they got his ass on camera. Now, if that young man was in that car, which we know he was, if Justin Harris didn't know he was in the car, how did you go to the car, open the door, put something in the car, and not smell the child in the car? I mean, come on, guys. It's estimated that the vehicle was between 100 and 130 degrees hot. Hot. So we know that child was sweating. We also know a child probably had to go to the restroom or the bathroom. So we got a child probably wearing a pull-up, defecating all over himself, and you open the door and you don't smell that funk? And if the child had already expired at that point, you would have smelled that too. Huh? You doubting yet? Are you doubting? See, I didn't have that information the first time. I feel a lot different about Justin Harris, but that's not even the most incriminating information yet. It turns out after finding the child, after doing their investigation, the cops went and looked at the computer owned by Justin Harris. Now this home computer is work computer. And you know what they found? You know what they found that Justin Harris searched for? He searched for this question. How long would it take to kill an animal in a hot car? If that's not enough evidence, God damn it, I don't know what is. Why the hell would you search for such a thing? Am I supposed to believe it's just a coincidence that you were searching for how to kill an animal in a hot car and then your child dies in a hot car? Come on. Now people say at the scene when Justin Harris called authorities, the people that arrived, they said Justin Harris, he did a great job of acting. They said he appeared to be very distressed. Yeah, I guess he was very distressed. Because he knew if he didn't pull off his acting job, his ass was going to jail. I don't buy his story. I think Justin Harris is a piece of shit. I think he's a lying, conniving, sadistic, bloodthirsty bastard. Now, I don't know if he killed that child for insurance money. I don't know why he did it. But I know he did it. I want to know what the wife has to say. I want to know what his brothers and sisters have to say. I want to know what anybody, neighbors, I want to know. Does this guy press for cash? Maybe he's on some type of brain-altering substance. But come on, give me something. Somebody has to know something about Justin Harris to blow this thing wide open. Now, I know there's some people out there who would say that the information I just provided you with, that evidence, circumstantial. They say it's not enough to get a conviction. But let me tell you this. There's a funeral being held tomorrow for little Cooper. And the way that young baby died, the way he suffocated in that hot vehicle, slowly over time, taking his life that way, well, to me, that's something only a monster could do. And to me, that child did not deserve to die that way. In fact, the only person I can think of who deserves to die slowly in a heated vehicle with no fresh oxygen, no relief from the heat, is Justin Harris. America.